Welcome back, painting friends. Today we're going to paint a picture of a manger. Colors you're going to need are, well, any kind of sky color you want. So I've got teal, dark blue, light blue, and purple. I'm also going to add a little bit of yellow and a little bit of white into my sky. Then I have silver and, sorry, not silver, that's brown and black. So these are my manger colors. You're going to need my favorite 4 brushes. I've got my 1-inch flat brush, my 10, 6, and 1 round brush. Don't forget to have a rag and a water for keeping your brushes clean. And today we are also going to use a gift or credit card. Okay, so I always keep this little credit card. Obviously, it's been well loved and used, but it's my scraping card. So you're going to want to have something, even a piece of cardboard will work, to scrape in your background. So if you enjoy what you're seeing today, make sure you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Painting with a Purpose, so you're kept up to date on all of the videos. And don't forget to check out our Facebook page, Painting with a Purpose, where we keep all of our conversations and content going. Let's get started. So all I've done is put spots of paint at the top of my canvas. So I've got the dark blue, the teal, the light blue, and the purple. And I'm just going to take this credit card and I'm just going to start to pull these colors down. Now you do have to be careful. You do not want to over mix your colors, okay? So when you're doing this, you are looking for that really unique background. You do not have to overmix these and create all one color, but I do want to mix them enough to where it almost looks like the northern lights are in my sky. If I get too much paint on my credit card, I can just wipe it off. I can even go from the bottom up if I'm missing some of those bottom areas, because I don't want to leave any white spaces. I can pull from the bottom up. So let's get this background finished and add in that manger. Now, I do want you to realize on your last run through with your card, you do want to press down pretty hard and pull off any extra paint. And what that's going to do is that's going to reveal your colors underneath. So pull off any of that extra paint, reveal those colors underneath. If you get like a little glob of dried paint, just pull it off with your card. Now that I have that on there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just a little bit of yellow and white, and I'm going to put it right here in the center where my my star is going to be. Actually, I might make it just a little bit to the left. I think I might add some words to the right. So all I do, look, I did not show you guys this part, but all I do is I just kind of take my bottles of paint and drop the color right on there. This is not neat or fancy. It is just a little bit of paint drop in. So I'm going to put my manger right here in this area. So I'm going to wipe that card off really good. And then this is where you have to be careful, because that yellow and that blues and the purples are going to really kind of mix. I don't want them to mix. I want these colors to sit on top. So I want to be really careful as I pull these colors through. That I get some of the color, but not too much. Now I'm going to go back in. I'm going to press hard and pull some of that off. All right, let's let this dry. When we come back, we're going to clean this area up and add in our layers. With the background dry, we're now going to take a little bit of white and a little bit of yellow on our number 6 round brush, and I'm going to make a little more specific detail lines right in this area. Some can be small, some can be long, some can be more white, some can be more yellow, so just kind of have fun with it. You can even throw some blues and purples in there if you want. But we're just going to add these little lines that are dripping down from the top. I'm going to go in with some of that blue color and add some blue in here. Maybe even some of that teal. I really like that teal color. And then I'm going to start to blend these lines out to these edges so that it looks more of like a continual flow. So with some of that teal, I can kind of start pulling it out, maybe add a little bit of purple in there. But all we're doing is really just adding a couple more specific detailed lines to these edges of our background. Okay, with these background edges done, what we're going to do now is we're going to lay out our manger. And like I said, our manger is going to be right here because I decided I'm going to put some words over here. I'm thinking Silent Night, Holy Night. So that's kind of what my thoughts are on that. But I'm going to use my number 6 round brush and some brown paint. And I'm going to just draw my manger. Now you can make your manger as big or as small as you want, but I'm going to go right here, right at the center of my canvas, and just make an arrow that, sorry, when I meant center, I mean left to right center. Okay. I'm going to make an arrow that's just kind of pointing up. And then just inside of the edge of that arrow, I'm going to make my 2 lines that pull down. And I'm just using my number 6 round brush right now. Now with those, I can go ahead and fatten that up a little bit. And to do that, I just kind of set my brush down and I let my brush do the work, because if I set my brush down and I let my brush bristles be the deciding factor on how thick that line is, then it's going to be the same thickness all the way across, and I don't have to try to fill in any spaces that are too thick or too thin. I'm going to wipe that brush off, and I'm going to take just a little bit of black paint, and I'm going to make small little black lines in here. I do want this to have a little bit of a wood grain look to it. So by taking just a little bit of black paint and painting just some small skinny little lines back and forth, it will help us give that illusion that this is wood and not just brown lines on the canvas. I can wipe that brush off. I could do the exact same thing with just a little bit of yellow, and that yellow, not yellow, this is white. That white is going to be just right at the top of these lumber logs on top of the manger. Wipe that brush off, and I can take a little bit of yellow and put that on the interior side of the supports. So just on the inside of these supports. All right, let's zoom into this area and we can add in all of those fun details. So right in here, we are going to lay out where our little bassinet is for the baby Jesus. And I'm just going to make a straight line right here. And it's going to go up at an angle. And I could just fill that whole space in with this brown color. And then I'm going to make the legs just kind of X across each other. And same thing I did with the wood outline is I'm just going to make some lines. Now these are going to be horizontal little black and white and yellow lines. Now I want you to look what I'm doing right here is I'm skipping over this one that crosses this direction because I want it to be the one that's in front. So now I'm going to take these lines and go across that. Same brush, I'm going to grab mostly yellow paint with just the smallest amount of brown on the tip of it. And I am going to cover this whole base layer in hay. So to do that, I'm just going to start off the edge of the canvas and kind of flick little lines up. And these little lines can go any direction you want them to go, but it's a very gentle touch. So don't press down hard with your paintbrush. Just let just the tip of the bristles kind of dance on the top of the canvas. And then at the top of this bed, I'm going to make these lines just kind of peel out over the edge. So all I'm doing is starting at the top and kind of roping them around the edge of this bed. Okay, let's zoom out. We'll come back and add baby Jesus in just a little bit. I'm going to take a clean number 6 round brush with some white paint, and right up here, just above the top of the manger, I am going to make my star. So I'm going to make a very tall, skinny white line. I'm going to make a shorter white line that goes this way, and then a couple of other even tinier ones that cross in the center, and you can make as many of these as you want. You can even add a small amount of yellow to the very center. Kind of brush that out to those edges. And then I'm going to use the back of my brush, and I'm just going to make little dots of white paint that go down into my manger. Now, as I'm doing that, I can go ahead and add some stars in my sky. And these are the same way, just using the back of my paintbrush. Again, this is my number 6 round brush. The back of my number 6 round brush, just to drop some stars in my sky. I think I'm going to add just a little bit of white to the tippy tops of some of these pieces of hay, just to let them look like they're shining a little bit. Same thing around these edges right here, just a little bit. So this is very light brush strokes of white on top of the hay that I already put on there. So for baby Jesus, you can use any color you want. I am going to use my light blue color with a little bit of white on my brush. By the way, I love that the sun in the studio is literally shining in the same area that I put my star. That's kind of fun, isn't it? So a little bit of blue paint with some white on it, and I am just going to make kind of a bump shape here and a bump shape here. Go ahead and paint that in. I'm going to wipe that brush off, wash that brush off really good. Then I'm going to go in with my yellow paint, and I am going to make an oval right here. Maybe a little bit of white mixed in with that yellow. An oval right here. And then from, I think I want it to be more rounded. There we go. And then from that, I'm going to go ahead and just make those little lines that come out. wipe my brush off, take a little bit of white highlight at the tips of these. Maybe one round one right here at the top of the white. If you've ever seen me do words before, you know that I set my canvas back down onto my table, just like I had it when I was scraping in my background. So let's drop this canvas down and move on to those words. All right, I just laid it down. I think I'm gonna add a little bit of dark blue paint right down here on the bottom, baby Jesus. And I'm gonna make it kind of messy so it looks like it is a shadow. So just a little bit of dark blue right down here, kind of going into those lines of hay, and maybe even just a spot of purple towards his little tootsie toe feet. All right, now let's talk about these words. So I am going to put one of my favorite lyrics, Silent Night, Holy Night, all is calm, all is bright. Now, sometimes when I paint my words, I use a Sharpie. Sometimes I use my paintbrush, but I always water down my paint if I'm going to be using paint. And I am going to try to use paint and use some swirly words. So here's what I do. I will take the words and I will type them into a document, and I will find out which font I like best. And then I just kind of look at my computer and try to make it as best as I can. So I am going to try some swirly words. I hope it works. Number 6 round brush, some watered down paint. And I am just going to go pop right in here with Silent Night, Holy Night, all is calm, all is bright. And here we have it. We've got our manger, we've got our fun background, and our words. Silent Night, Holy Night, all is calm, all is bright. Remember, when you're finished, you need to sign your art. I always put my initials in the bottom right corner. Make sure that you take a picture of your art and you post it to my Facebook page, Painting with a Purpose, so that you can share with me what you're painting at home. And make sure that you like and subscribe to my channel, Painting with a Purpose, so you are kept up to date on all of my tutorials. Sometimes I like to go in at the end and just add a little bit more, fine details to my art. Just a couple of little black lines to really make that wood look as though it is hopping. But as always, stay kind, stay creative, and stay safe, friends. Have a great day. Bye now.